Hello everyone, I'm Hải Anh, a lecturer from University of Languages and International Studies, Vietnam National University. It's my honor to make a presentation at our convention on behalf of Dr. Hoàng Thị Xuân Hoa, the co-author of our research. First, let me show you the slides. Our research topic is assessment methods and expected outcomes alignment, the case of a British and American study course at a university. There are four main parts in the presentation. As we all know, assessment is a very important part of education. Assessment is of learning, as learning, and for learning. Assessment of learning is to let the teacher, students, and parents know how well the students complete learning tasks. It provides information about the student's achievement. Assessment as learning means through assessment activities, students can acquire knowledge and skills. And assessment for learning means assessment is designed to provide data to revise the learning and teaching activities. Because of the intense relationship between assessment and learning and teaching, assessment methods and course learning outcomes should align. In our research, we study the alignment between assessment methods and learning outcomes of the course of American and British studies. The aims of our research is to investigate the extent of the assessment methods and course learning outcomes are aligned. The perceptions of teachers and students in terms of the difficulties, appropriateness, and effectiveness of assessment methods. As well, we also examine the teachers' and student suggestions for assessment methods. Constructive alignment is about defining the learning outcomes and aligning them with the teaching and assessment strategies. It will help teachers select their course content and plan the learning activities. Success can be then measured through assessment of a student's achievement of the learning outcomes. A good starting point is to ask ourselves the question, what knowledge or skill do I want my students to be able to acquire when they have completed the course? This question will inform your course learning outcomes and assessment tasks. It will also help you, the teachers, determine the appropriate learning activities, resources required to achieve the outcomes, the learning outcomes. And we can use the data from the assessment methods to revise the learning and teaching activities, as well as to adapt the course expected outcomes. One of the AUN QA criteria states that in fostering constructive alignment, a variety of assessment methods should be adopted and be congruent with the expected learning outcomes. They should measure the achievement of all the expected learning outcomes of the program and its courses. We all know that teaching and testing has very close connection. Teaching decides testing, and testing influences teaching. Testing can have positive and negative effects or washback. Positive washback refers to the benefits that testing may bring to teaching, like testing causes positive changes in the syllabus, choice of textbook, teaching and learning methods. Testing can also support good teaching and exerts a corrective influence on bad teaching. However, negative washback can happen Teaching can be influenced by testing in the way that testing dominates teaching and learning activities, and education will become test or testing oriented, and testing may distract students and teachers from learning objectives. In order to have assessment methods and learning outcomes alignment, the assessment methods should foster and motivate teaching and learning, provide accurate information about the extent of objectives of a course have been achieved, and provide opportunity for learning. In our research, we study the objectives and assessment methods of a course of British and American studies in a university in Hanoi. First, let's have some overview of the course. This course is a compulsory course for third-year students, and the English competence of the students must be B2. The number of credits of the course is 3, and the language of instruction is English. Each class has about 20 to 30 students, and there are about 20 or more classes each semester. The knowledge objectives of the course are for students to understand key concepts in studying the UK and the US, to understand how British and American histories, beliefs and values, politics, economy, education, and everyday life activities are constructed and organized. As a result, the students can apply these understandings in relevant conversations. At the end of the course, the students will have analytical and critical thinking skills. They can also have the ability to conduct a seminar in English on a given topic, and also improve their teamwork skills to achieve planned goals. At the end of the course, students showed their responsibilities for social issues and respect differences. The research is to answer 3 questions. To what extent the course objectives and assessment methods are aligned? What are the teachers' and students' opinions of the assessment methods in terms of difficulties, appropriateness, and effectiveness? What are the teachers' and students' suggestions for improving the assessment methods of the course? And in order to answer the 3 questions, we use some data collection instruments, including document analysis. We analyze the course syllabus, the sample tests, student sample videotaped seminars. We also have questionnaire for the students and some informal talks with the teachers. There are 4 teachers and 100 students joining in the data collection procedure. Let's look at the course assessment. There are 3 methods of assessment: quizzes, seminars, and sitting exams, or the end of course exam. Let's look at the student-led seminar first. There are several cases, and the students will study them carefully in order to see the complexity of contemporary social phenomena, to become open to multiple perspectives, and to formulate and articulate ethical commitments. And each seminar is led by 2 groups. One leading group will make the presentation, And the second group will participate in the in-class discussion. And the students will be assessed individually, not only through the presentation, but also the participation in discussions. The second method of assessment is quizzes. There are about 4 to 6 quizzes, and the main purpose of the quizzes is to support students' regular reading of course materials and acquisition of basic vocabulary about the UK and the US. And the teachers deliver lectures, receive answers and questions before giving the quizzes. And the students are also supposed to be able to answer the questions in the quizzes based on the knowledge required through reading relevant prescribed texts before coming to the class. The final sitting exam would last 70 minutes. It consists of 2 compulsory parts. The first compulsory part estimates the student's ability to understand some common references and conversations about the UK and the US. It includes short questions about the course's key concepts and facts. The second compulsory part mobilizes the students' understanding of a socio-political and cultural phenomenon in the UK and the US, as well as their capacity to produce clear and effective written English. It usually asks the students to write a short essays of 300 words to address one of some of the issues discussed in the seminars. And the essay questions are released to the students before, like, at the very beginning of the semester, or sometimes several weeks before the final sitting exam. There is also a option, or we call experimental part. The students can choose whether to respond to that part, which elicits their interpretation of some figurative expressions related to the course contents. And if their response is of good quality, they will receive a bonus point. We'll go to the findings and recommendation. So because we have 3 tools to collect the data, we'll go to the first group of findings from document analysis. So I will show you criteria mapping, assessment methods and criteria mapping. And the mapping shows a great extent of match. Most of the knowledge and skills objectives stated in the course outline are measured by the seminar or quizzes or the tests at the end of the course. And the analysis of grading criteria for the seminars and final exam reveals some the focus on the objectives of knowledge analytical and critical thinking, and multiple perspectives. However, the objectives of showing something like responsibilities for social issues and teamwork skills are not explicitly and adequately addressed. So as we can see here in the table. Then we will have some findings from the interview. The type of the interview is unstructured interviews. We can say informal talks. So we conducted the informal talks or unstructured interviews with 4 teachers from Division of Country Studies of that university, and they all teach the course of the Introduction to British and American Studies, and they come from different background and education. And here are the findings from the interviews. First, about the quizzes. So all the teachers said that the students are well informed about the objectives of the course, the methods of assessments, and the criteria of each of the 3 assessment methods. About the quizzes, they all agreed with the appropriateness of the quizzes in order to achieve the objectives of students understanding the key concepts relating to British and American history, beliefs and values, politics, education, and economy. And because teachers in the division are given considerable autonomy, they can design the quizzes themselves and to fit into the ability and conditions of their classes. And they believed that quizzes are suitable method of continuous assessment. However, they said that quizzes provoked some drawbacks, including limited relevance and caused teachers, because teachers designed the quizzes themselves. So the difficulties and complexity of the quizzes depend on teachers' approaches and perceptions on the assessment method. So sometimes the scores, the scores of the quizzes are like different from class to class. And because each teacher teaches more than one class, and the quizzes can't be reused, so one teacher will have to design many quizzes. The teachers also agreed that the seminars help to gain the effectiveness in matching the learning outcomes and the method in the seminars helped to the students to acquire teamwork skills and the ability to conduct the seminars on given topics. And all the topics are conversational and contemporary. So the activities, the method helps to stimulate the students' interest in controversial and burning international political, cultural, and social issues. However, the seminars uh, the seminars can be difficult to be conducted because of some reasons, like the dissimilarity in students' ability and attitudes, the lack of background knowledge, especially when the topics are about politics, economy, and maybe the US and the UK's national beliefs and values. And because the students are lack of intellectual skills, like the four communication skills, the teamwork skills, or and critical thinking skills. For example, sometimes the seminars cannot acquire the high level of cognitive skills, and each student has his or her own scoring criteria. So to some extent, the scoring will lead to some unfairness. One part of the seminar is discussion, and because of the students' limitation in making questions, demonstrating the complex degree of the cognitive skills in Bloom taxonomy. So the discussions can sometimes be quite simple and not thought-provoking enough. The teachers also give some comments on the advantages of the sitting exams, as it is convenient because it is partially a kind of standardized test. It's appropriate to evaluate the learning outcomes and partially effective. There is one problem that all four teachers mentioned about the sitting exam, the end of course exams. That is, because the students know the essay questions in advance. So on one hand, they can make thorough preparation, and they have like less stress during the exam, and they can improve their research skill throughout the semester, finding the information, digging deep into the issues in the questions. There are also some drawbacks, and the most prominent one is that it is quite obvious that students may cheat, and because they can cheat, they can copy their friends' answers. It is difficult to accurately evaluate the students' ability. To get the information, the data from the students, we used the questionnaire and scaling questionnaire, and we had 100 respondents. They studied the British and American studies last year when they were third-year students, and this year they are fourth-year students. So in general, they are well aware of the learning outcomes, the method of assessment, and the criteria of each of the three methods. And among the findings, we have here some prominent figures. As you can see, 80%, 81% of the respondents believed that the assessment methods are highly appropriate and effective. 92% of them said that the scoring scales of the seminars are clear, understandable, and eligible. And however, 38% of the students, fourth-year students, believe that the seminars are difficult, and 46% of them believed that knowing the essay questions in advance may provoke the real possibility of cheating, which may create unfairness. In detail about the quizzes, they believed that quizzes are effective because the quizzes are continuous assessment, and they are a helpful tool to remind them that they need to learn, and also a helpful tool for them to revise the content of the studying regularly and continuously. However, many of them believed that the quizzes are facts and figures oriented, so they like critical thinking and creativity, and they are not, the students are not interested in doing the quizzes. They also believe that the seminars improve self-study because they have to do the research not only in team but also individually. They on contemporary topics, and they have the opportunity to work in teams and improve their teamwork skills. And they also believe that the seminars are the best opportunity to enhance their creativity and critical thinking skills. However, to those who believe that the seminars are difficult, they explain the reason as because of their lack of background knowledge and language skills, teamwork skills, representing ability, and critical thinking skills. And many of them also talks about this similarity among the team's members' ability and skills, and also the lack of consulting from teachers is a reason. And here are the three major suggestions from the students. They believed that more documents or sources from teachers or in library where they can find the documents themselves would be very helpful. And some of them talk about some kind of initial training and demonstrations so that the newbies will know what to do, how to do, and why to do this or that before they start the real seminars themselves. The students also expect for wider consultant with teachers. And from the teachers, and also from the research group, we believed that there should be an adjustment. There should be some adjustment in the assessment methods For example, the situation exercise should be added into the syllabus in order to assess the students' attitudes. And there should be some follow-up activities after the seminars are conducted in order to evaluate the students' participation, the students' understanding, and the students' ability of applying the knowledge they get from the seminars. And there should be full and comprehensive instructions for both teachers and students when it comes to the scoring procedure, the marking procedures. There should be samples and marking skills for the seminars and the essay questions. And a detailed assessment booklet will also be very helpful. It partially helps to reduce the scoring gaps among teachers. So that's the end of our presentation. And I believe that we will have more opportunity to have some kind of face-to-face Q&A or comments and feedbacks when it comes to the convention days. Thank you so much for watching the clips and listening to me. So hope to see you. Thank you.